Welcome back to the channel. This is TZ Knows Wrestling, and today we are going to cover this whole thing with Sheamus' WWE departure. Now, we don't know too much what's going on. All we know is that he's not renewing his contract. Now, that can mean a couple of things. Like, we've all been through this whole thing where they leave and they come back, or they leave as just a little backstage storyline that we don't know until WWE Unreal comes back. Now, this one feels very, very real. We haven't seen Sheamus since John Cena's last Raw appearance, I believe, when it was John Cena, Rey Mysterio, and him versus, I think it was the Judgment Day. That's the last time we seen Sheamus. And these sources came out a couple weeks ago saying he's not renewing his contract. Now, we've known he's been dealing with a couple of injuries. We're just not sure where him not being able to find an agreement to his contract, so I guess that means he's leaving. Even WWE put him in the alumni section. Now, like I said, that could mean a couple of things, but we don't know, because the same thing happened with R-Truth. The same thing happened with Brock Lesnar. We just don't know what's happening. We don't know, because with Brock Lesnar, he was in the alumni section and he came back weeks later. So who knows? But today I just want to cover his accomplishments in WWE, where he is a 4-time world champion. And I remember my first time I've seen Sheamus, it was him beating John Cena at TLC 2010. And to this day, I still don't know if he's supposed to win that match. To this day. The second one came in the 6-pack challenge. If I remember that, a 6-pack challenge? I don't remember what you had to do to win, but a 6-pack challenge, I think at Night of Champions, when Night of Champions actually meant every championship holder has to defend their championships that night. Won that, and then he beat Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 28 in like 18 seconds. Other than that, he's been world champ. He's been tag team champions with Cesaro. He's a Money in the Bank winner, King of the Ring winner, Royal Rumble winner. So Sheamus has done a lot in his career. He's almost had a 20-year career. But it just sucks to see him go, because we don't know where this is going to lead to. We don't know if this is going to go to, he's going to go to AEW, TNA, or he's going to retire. I personally don't see him going to AEW. I don't want to see him go to TNA. I think he should just, find a stable ground where, if he wants to come back to WWE, he should be able to come back. But Sheamus has had a long career, man. Like, at one point, he was up there with CM Punk, Randy Orton, John Cena. Like, Sheamus was always looked at as almost a face of the WWE at a certain point in my eyes. And it just sucks to see him go, because as he's an Ireland? Is that what you call it? Yeah, I think that's what you call it. He's from Ireland, and seeing him grow from him being just a security guard, when we saw him, I think that's the first time people laid eyes on, he was a security guard with I think it was DX and the Spirit Squad, to him becoming a world champion. It's crazy. And then the fact and the way he did it, and so fast he did it, it was just crazy. Especially beating John Cena, especially just like 2010 John Cena. So this is still on the cusp of a Super Cena type of thing. And him, King of the Ring, like I said, King of the Ring, Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, 2012. Like I said, 2012 is where it all kind of fit in for him. It all kind of fit in, and it's just crazy. Like, I know in the later parts of his career, he went to the middle card, and even these past couple of years, he wanted to get the IC title to become a Grand Slam. And at that point, you're Grand Slam, you've really done everything. You've done pretty much everything you can do in WWE, but he never got a chance to do that. So, like I said, we don't know. Like I said, when I made that video yesterday about CM Punk winning the title, I told to my girl, like, hey, if they want to do like a little swerve, they could put Randy, CM Punk, or Sheamus, because they're famous for doing stuff like that. We've always said, oh, well, he's not going to come back, he's not going to do anything, then boom, he's back. Brock Lesnar, R-Truth, already won two that has done that before. So, like I said, man, personally, I think about his Money in the Bank cash-in win is one of my personal favorites. People like to talk about the Seth Rollins, the Edges, and all that type of stuff, but personally, my favorite was the whole thing with him and Roman Reigns. When Roman, I don't know if y'all remember, when I think it was Survivor Series. I think it was, I want to say 2016 or 15. I want to say 2016, where it was Undertaker's, I think, 25th anniversary on his debut, and they had a little tournament because Seth Rollins had hurt himself, in a live event with his knee, so he had to relinquish the WWE Championship. So they had a little tournament, and the finals ended up being Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns ended up winning. Triple H comes out, tries to shake his hand, and Roman spears the shit out of him, and he goes to celebrate. And out of nowhere, you see this man Sheamus road kick the shit out of Roman Reigns and goes to pin him, and he kicks out. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is getting a little interesting. And he goes for another bro kick. Roman reverses it and goes. He tries to go to a spear off the ropes and gets hit with another one. And, Sheamus ended up winning another title. And I think it was his third world championship at that time. And went on to, he didn't have a long reign. But for that time being, where you only saw Roman Reigns, it was clearly that Roman Reigns was supposed to be the top guy. He trusted, Vince McMahon or whoever trusted Sheamus to, hey, look, we're going to put you on a pedestal. We're going to, make him look strong. So they trusted Sheamus with that. And like I said, if we even go back a couple years ago in 2012 when he was world championship, I think that's where that's where he peaked, where you saw him having banger matches with Randy. He had some with Big Show. I think him and Big Show went at it a couple times. I think they did 3 or 4 PLE matches where, he always kind of beat Big Show, but then I think he lost that Survivor Series in a chair match. When fucking Big Show put on his big ass chair, him in the back, and that was over with. But there's not really much I can cover with Sheamus because, like I said, in the later stage of his career, he never got to the IC title. But I do remember what his last matches at WrestleMania was. I think WrestleMania 39. It was him, Drew McIntyre, and Gunther for the. I think it was for the IC title. I think it was for IC, and that was one of the greatest matches then too. So it was man, it's sad to see some of our heroes who we grew up on, especially me, in the early 2010s, where you had the Nexus, you had the Miz, you had Cena, Randy, Christian. All these people are basically leaving WWE or retiring. Like I said, John Cena just retired not too long ago, and seeing that match with Ray, John Cena, and Sheamus, you could have never known that was going to be Sheamus' last match in WWE. You could have never known that. So it's just sad to see him go, but I hope he does find a way to renew his contract, because Sheamus is basically a veteran, even if not to put over nobody. He should at least be able to get the IC title and make at least a run with it, at least for him to be having the Grand Slam like they was Cena. Cena didn't need the IC title. He was already the GOAT, so they just gave him that stamp. Hey, you might as well take it. You're gonna be a Grand Slam. He's Grand Slam now. So why can't that happen with Sheamus? I'm pretty sure they didn't know he was going to just I can't. We're not gonna find no common ground. But I think they should do something. That would be a horrible talent to lose. And if he goes AEW, who knows what they're gonna do him there? I don't see him going to TNA. AEW is basically, we all know AEW is that main second. But I don't see Sheamus going to AEW. I think he's gonna probably just go in retirement or find something else to do. So it just sucks to see this go down because we don't know what's happening backstage. So I hope it doesn't formulate to that. But I hope it's not a TKO thing, because we've been hearing about TKO, getting the veterans pay cuts. I think that's why CM Punk was gone for so long. He had to take a pay cut. But Roman Reigns and everybody else is still getting paid probably top tier pay, which they deserve. But the veterans are getting the, shit under the stick, probably like Rey Mysterio or CM Punk or, whoever. But that's just me. That's me looking from the inside, and I'm out of there. So I don't know. I'm not in those creative meetings. I don't want to be in them because who knows. But overall, I think Sheamus is gonna go. It's gonna be one of the first ballot Hall of Famers. So. Like I said, we just covered a little bit of his career. I could go into full depth, but we ain't here to do all that. Like I said, I just wish him in his future endeavors. If he does come back to WWE, great, because he needs to become an IC title. He can definitely be a Grand Slam champion. But if you can go back and look at his everything, I'm pretty sure there's multiple videos on Sheamus's accomplishments who done better than me. You know what I mean? So I just want to cover a little bit of it. And if y'all remember on WWE 12, where he has a villain story where he forms the United Kingdom with William Regal, Drew McIntyre, and I think Wade Barrett. Yeah, and Wade Barrett. And at the ending is at WrestleMania 27, and he beats them all. And wins all the championships. He's the WWE champion, World Heavyweight champion, the World Tag Team champions, the European champion. Just go back and look at some of these things, you know. But other than that, that's all I really have to say. You know, I just wish him in his future endeavors. I hope he can find a way to, you know, come to agreement with WWE about his contract. But if not, then hey, hopefully we see him again at a certain point, even if it's, you know, him being an agent for them or something, to go find talent and bring it to WWE or anything. Because Sheamus is definitely a great talent. But that's it for me. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. You know, this is just out of a spring moment. I just want to create a video for you guys, but I appreciate it. You know, if you like, just like and subscribe, comment, see what y'all want more. If I come back tomorrow, I don't know what I'm going to talk about tomorrow if I create a video. But I think the next video I'm going to cover is probably going to be the SmackDown review. What's going to happen. I'm excited for that because I'm ready to see what's going to happen on SmackDown. But I love you guys. Comment, subscribe, and favorite, please.